You think the wind is ever trying to tell us something and we don't know how to hear it anymore?
No.
Who is Theo Von? The comedian with stories you can't make up. Theo Von has become one of the most unique voices in comedy, known for his wild storytelling, sharp wit, and one-of-a-kind perspective on life. This video explores his journey from small-town Louisiana to stand-up stages, podcasts, and becoming a fan favorite in the world of comedy. Theo Von isn't just a comedian. He's a storyteller, a podcaster, and a cultural character whose humor blends honesty, absurdity, and Southern charm. This video dives into his rise through reality TV, his stand-up specials, and the loyal audience he's built through his podcast this past weekend. From hilarious tales of childhood adventures to off-the-wall observations about everyday life, Theo has carved out a lane all his own. How did a kid from Covington become one of the most original comedians of his generation? What makes his style resonate so strongly with fans? Today, we explore the life, career, and comedy of Theo Von, the storyteller who turned real life into something stranger, funnier, and unforgettable.
You go deep, huh?
Oh, dude.
But you're that dude. You go deep with whatever the fuck you're doing.
I like to get right on the fucking... I like to be a peeping Tom if I can. I'll watch your whole family eat dinner. And you know me, man, if I'm in a new area, I like to get acclimated with the animals, bro. I'll pet an animal, you know? I'll pick a snail up and walk 3 or 4 feet and set him down. You know, save him fucking 5 days of travel. That's who I am.
Welcome to Who Media, the channel where curiosity leads the way. From famous celebs and cartoon icons to legends and hidden names, we uncover the stories behind the people you know and the ones you don't. Theo wasn't born Jonathan Stewart or John Doe. He was the Theodore Capitani von Kernatowski III. Born March 19, 1980, in Covington, Louisiana, he came into the world into a family that felt both ordinary and bizarre. His father was Nicaraguan, 70 when Theo was born, a man from another era. His mother, Gina, raised him in uneasy silence, often lacking affection. Can you imagine having to unlearn what love could feel like and turn it into humor instead? Theo became legally emancipated at 14, not because of glamour, but because he had to grow up fast. What shape does identity take when independence arrives so young? He drifted through college, LSU, Loyola, Arizona, Santa Monica, but none stuck until University of New Orleans awarded him a BA in urban planning in 2011. Yet his education extended beyond diplomas. He paid tuition in lessons about identity, belonging, and survival. Have you ever had to learn life's toughest lessons outside the classroom? Then came the unlikeliest audition. Milo from MTV's Road Rules scouted while just walking across the quad. That moment didn't just launch a reality TV gig. It granted him a front row seat into absurd culture and, ironically, the world of storytellers. He became a walking soundbite, bold and blunt, and soon jumped to MTV's The Challenge seasons, becoming runner-up, then winning subsequent cycles. Did reality TV make him, or just polish his comedic weaponry? Comedy wasn't planned. It felt inevitable. When Theo sat in for a campus open mic, he realized that if people laughed and maybe liked him for once, he had found himself. He went after stand-up with single-minded focus, refusing to slip into sitcom comfort. In 2006, he won the online Last Comic Downloaded contest on Last Comic Standing, a leap from humanity's social fringe to real recognition.
Got a pretty crazy life, man. My father was 70 years old when I was born. 7-0. Gets better. My mother was 32. Here. Yeah. Basically make me a product of loose skin and loose morals, if you look at it like that. It's interesting growing up with a father in his 70s because of the quality time that we would spend. Shortly after I was born, my dad had one of his strokes, so we were both learning to walk at the same time. And we used to have little races for cookies, soft batch, and we would play games like catch or don't. And my favorite is Dad sleeping or is he no longer with us?
Was it the humor or the honesty that finally broke through? He played the prankster next on TBS's Deal With It. Pranks, hidden cameras, that's fun, but comedy with a twist of discomfort. Theo excelled because even when throwing the absurd at someone, he remained self-aware, still relatable. Then came the half hour on Comedy Central, some IMDb cameos, an entire Netflix special, no offense, in 2016 that became a crucible for his evolving voice. How fine a line do you walk when your comedy feels close enough to draw in hearts and shock them? But something spectacular happened when he wasn't on stage. He launched this past weekend in 2016, a podcast that began at his kitchen table and exploded. What started as free-form chats with guests turned into a home for stories, flaws, recovery, and laughter. He became a storyteller kids from Louisiana and strangers across the world didn't just listen to, they made part of their lives. Today, it's a globally popular podcast touching millions of ears. What's the alchemy of storytelling, relatability, and humor mixed just right? Theo makes you think he's telling jokes about mundane, odd experiences, like growing up with 2 tank tops in winter. But he's actually telling us about resilience, belonging, and vulnerability disguised as punchlines. He's from the stray animal belt of southern Louisiana, where normal has extra edges. He describes becoming an adult slowly. How has that slow burn made him sharper, more observant, and more human? And then there's his place in the manosphere, a term that's become loaded lately. Sometimes irreverent, sometimes edgy, Theo's brand naturally collides with that world, but he remains elusive politically, willing to guest both Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Why? Because he speaks in stories, not scripts. In 2024, he even hosted Trump on his podcast, and the clip about cocaine? Viral. Part comedy gold, part candid glimpse into a strange moment in politics. How weird and wild is it that a comedian becomes a safe space for unfiltered conversation for nearly anyone? Then came Qatar. He opened for Trump at a military base, performing a routine laced with jokes about addiction, disabilities, and taboo topics. Mixed laughs and groans. Vaughn isn't for everyone, that's part of his appeal. He doesn't drop a standard beat. He dances on the edges of discomfort, daring you to feel it, have a question it, maybe laugh and move on. What do you do when a comedian makes you cringe and also makes you feel alive? Tours followed. Dark Arts Tour, Return of the Rat. He packed venues big and small. He's on Netflix again with Regular People. A buddy cop comedy film with David Spade called Busboys is in the works. He's not retiring from his roots or retracting. Is this the grind or a calling? Theo's humor is observational but surreal. He gets into absurd human behavior and finds stories there. He talks about addiction, recovery, regret, and empties the closet so you feel a little less alone. Isn't that the heart behind the laughter? His unique background, the father who slept more than talked, the poverty-tinged childhood, the divorce, the early escape, all these make up the voice that sounds like a friend at 2 a.m. asking the world why. So who is Theo Vaughn? He's every oddball kid you laughed at and every lonely adult you giggle beside. He's a reality star turned stand-up, podcast king, occasional prank president, outsider turned intimate voice. He's the guy who made mental health and messy stories feel funny, familiar, and honest. He's the embodiment of grit, emancipated at 14, lost, found, touring, talking his way across America and beyond. And through it all, he's asking us, can humor heal? Can a podcast be community? Can a comedian carry the weight of our discomfort because he's comfortable with it first? Theo Vaughn is not the polished comic. He's the cracked mirror that reflects all of us, the good, bad, goofy, broken, laughing back at our own humanity. So when you listen to this past weekend, catch a special, or just hear him riff on something random. Ask yourself, who taught him this? Why do we feel seen? And is he just funny, or something more profound, cleverly disguised in a joke? Theo shows us the power of stories. Not scripted, not sanitized, just stories. Real as a quiet night, funny as a gasping laugh, and human as your own reflection in a cracked window.
Pet a dog and he don't walk off. God, I love that. God, I love that. If you pet a dog and he stay right there and let you do it, God, you turn into a dang pedophile, baby. You know what I'm saying, boy? Make you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. You know what I'm saying? Praise God, baby. These are dying from the heat.
Is it the heat?
Yep, they're evaporating, they ejaculate, and their whole body blows up.
Is that real?
Bring it up, Jamie.
Thanks for watching Who Media. We hope you had fun learning something new today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a story. Want to see more cool videos? Head over to our channel and start exploring.
And say if you were to have Donald Trump back on your podcast today, what's the first question you'd want to know?
I think my things would be like why we're being supportive of the genocide in Gaza. Like, why are we helping with that? Like, I think it's making a lot of people feel really scared that it's like hurting our feelings. Like, why are we supporting that?
Yeah.
And then why wouldn't we come to the rescue of the people over there?